Was Justin Fields' performance more about him or the Broncos defense? Because I don't know.
I can tell you. It definitely was about that Broncos defense.
Okay.
They the top in the league. You ask me if I can go on fantasy and pick any defense right now, who wouldn't pick the Broncos?
Okay.
Right, they 10 sacks up on everybody. They got a lockdown corner. They're getting their best linebacker back this week, hopefully. They doing this without their guy in the middle of that defense, man. So it definitely had everything to do with the Broncos defense, man. First of all, this how they attack you. They take away your main target. So BP, that's before Pat. You know what I'm saying? You see how I did that?
Yeah.
It's before Pat. Garrett Wilson was 4th in the league in catches, 7th in the league in yards.
Yep.
Tied for 5th in the league in touchdowns. That was before Pat. He had 3 catches, 13 yards. Completely took it out the game.
Yeah.
And BD, that's before Denver. The Jets running game, they averaged 144 yards in a game. Third in the NFL. They now 5th after Denver.
Okay.
But they ran the shit out the ball. That's Hall. That's Justin Fields running it. They combined yards. They could run the ball. They had 90 yards, 50 yards below their average. You know what I'm saying? You 50 yards below your average, that's major. You know what I'm saying? So, and the third thing they do is they get after your ass. They get after your ass, man. They had 9 sacks on the day, 10 sacks up on anybody in the league. And Coop came out with 3 of them this game. It's everybody. It's not even just Nick.
And Benito leads in sacks.
Yeah, he lead the league, but it's not even just him.
Yeah.
It's coming from everywhere. The D tackles, the edges, man, they get after you all the way around, man. So when you get sacked, those yards come off your total team passing yards. That's why they got negative 10 yards. So it's not like Justin Fields has just been trash all year. I mean, he averaged himself 240 yards a game, his passing and his rushing. He almost beat the Steelers. He almost beat the Bucks. He had a nice fourth quarter, damn near came back and
Well,
beat
he
the
almost
Bucks.
beat the Broncos yesterday.
Shit, he almost beat the Broncos. He had a chance to beat the Broncos,
He
right?
did,
Shit, he almost beat the Dolphins. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's not like he's just stinking it up every week. So
But almost
just
isn't
when
a
you
win.
come up, when you play the Broncos, don't try to say, oh, it's Justin Fields. It's just he's not just trash. It's just he just came across that vaunted Broncos defense, and that's the result of that shit.
But not to get one win, all 6 games?
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. If you fighting for a win, the last defense you want to see is the damn Broncos.
Hey, sometimes it's tough to get a win in the NFL.
It is. You know what I'm saying? It be like that.
Tell us about
tough
that,
to get
Cody.
16 of them sometimes, too. I think it's a combination of both. I think it is. I agree with the key, but I think the Broncos are the best defense in the NFL right now. They're the most complete defense in the NFL.
Yeah.
They're second in both scoring and total defense, but they can stop you on the ground and they can stop you through the air. They're 6th right now in passing, or they're 6th in rushing defense, and they're 4th right now in passing defense. But with that being said, and Vance Joseph's been great. He's got those guys ready.
Confusing the shit out of you.
He is so tough to decipher when you get up there on 3rd down, especially when you get in those passing situations. It's a nightmare to figure out where to send the offensive line and play off of that. But the other thing for me right now that's frustrating with Justin Fields is that you see flashes, like Akib said, of how good he can be. There's times where he plays games and you think, all right, I can work with that.
Yep.
He has the talent. It's there. He can make these big-time throws. He can do these things. He just lacks the consistency. And you feel it this year. You watch that Pittsburgh game in week 1, and that was one of the best games that he played in the NFL as a quarterback. He was dialing up. He was figuring out man zone. They were on the same page with the offensive coordinator, motioning the tight ends, hey, making checks at the line, throwing a dot over the top to Garrett Wilson. He was playing in rhythm. He was playing comfortable. But since then, it just feels like he's been regressing. And I'm not saying he's playing terrible, but I went back and watched Justin Fields this year. I really watched the film, and I really watched this Bronco game. To me right now, it feels like he lacks confidence. And the confidence is not only just in himself, but I think it's in the play calling and with the guys around him. It just doesn't feel like they're all on the same page. And when I know that a quarterback has lost confidence, the first thing that I see or the first thing that I notice is that they don't have anticipation anymore. They start holding on to the football.
Yep.
They're not playing in rhythm. They want to see a guy come open instead of throwing them open or trusting that they're going to be in their spot. And then when you hold on to the football, what happens? That leads to sacks. That leads to you trying to do too much. You start improvising. You don't have that big play capability outside of the pocket. He struggled at times to throw on the run. You just don't get in a rhythm as an offense, and that's tough because once you lose that confidence, it's hard to gain it back. The other thing that I look for is their footwork. And with Justin Fields right now, You start seeing that back foot get outside of his frame. He's not comfortable in his drop. He's not hitting that final step, stepping up in the pocket, keeping a good base, and delivering an accurate throw. And if you're a quarterback in this league and you're doing a 5-step drop, I need you to hit your back foot, hitch up to 7.5, be right down the midline, good base, and deliver the football. Go watch Dak in his games. Go watch Baker Mayfield in their games and their footwork and the way that they play in rhythm. You're not seeing that right now with Justin Fields. He's hitting his back foot, and instead of thinking, all right, I'm going to make this throw, I'm going to let it rip, I'm confident in this throw, he starts drifting backwards a little bit, or he stays in the same spot, and you're hurting your tackles, and you're putting pressure on your guards. The offensive line isn't playing great, but he's not doing them any favors right now. It's a combination of everything. So I'm not out on Justin Fields, man. I'm really rooting for him. I want him to be successful. We saw it in college. We've seen flashes in the NFL. It is there. It's just about getting the most out of him and letting him build that confidence. But it's tough. When you start out 0-5 and things aren't going your way, it's tough week in and week out to go watch film and believe in yourself and say, all right, I'm going to turn this around. We're going to get it figured out. So I hope he can, because I don't know how many more opportunities that he's going to get.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm going to give you your Broncos defense. It's between Denver and Dallas, who has the best defense in the NFL right now. We'll get to that garbage trash in just a minute. But I have watched Justin Fields. It feels like forever.
Same.
It's been 5 years, and his starter record is 14-35. You can say, well, he's played for trash teams. But his record is by far the worst in the NFL. I hate the word trash. I'm not going to go trash, but I'll go refuse on Justin Fields. You know, like he's just, I'm just going to say it. I don't think he can play in the National Football League as a starting quarterback. I just don't believe in him, and I'll tell you why. There's one thing you have to be a consistent starting quarterback that you can at least challenge for the playoffs with year after year. You have to throw accurate footballs consistently. You have to throw balls that are catchable consistently, and he does not. That's just me, but I like him. I like the way he handles himself. I like his poise. In fact, he's gotten so poised this year that in 6 games, all losses, he's thrown 0 picks and he's lost 0 fumbles. Well, that's highly, you would say, that's really impressive.
Yeah, very.
But he's degenerated into, I stand and I hold, and damned if I'm going to throw a pick. I'm not going to do it. I'll just
take the
because
sack.
I'm big enough and strong enough, I can take the abuse in the pocket. I'll just stand here and you can pull me down if you want, but I'm not going to cut this loose.
And then that's a great point, and which surprises me too, Skip, because he has 0 interceptions.
0.
When you see a guy that starts holding the ball and they're afraid to make a mistake, normally it's because they're throwing multiple picks a game. So that's a great point. He's not turning the football over, but it still feels like he's afraid to make that mistake.
Okay, so then we come down. Remember, it's 11-10 Jets until 5 minutes are left in the game. It's 11-10 Jets, and I'm thinking, are we going to see the upset of the year? Because your team's really good, and your quarterback's really good, but he was having a rough day yesterday.
Yeah, nothing was happening.
And you have 2 throws to Garrett Wilson, who most people consider a top 10 receiver, and he'll make 1 circus catch a game, except not until yesterday. He caught 3 for 13. That's all before Pat, right? That's about Surtain, right? So he goes 3 for 13, but he has 2 late routes that he runs, and he gets open, and Justin just flat out missed him with 2 throws that could have won the game, because you just need, right? They had gone ahead, and you just needed a field goal at that point. And he missed him. He missed him on the sideline. He just threw it low and away, and it's a pretty easy pitch and catch to me, because he broke open to the sideline. You have to lead him, obviously, to the sideline and just hit him out here away from the DB, and he throws it down here. And Garrett Wilson probably should have caught it. I think he hurt himself on the play because he was limping off after that. But I'm like, man, those are just throws where that's why you're 0-6. You just haven't made the throw at the moment. That's just me. And yet I like the way he carries himself, and I want to love him. I tried to love him coming out of Ohio State, and he just won't let you. I'm just not sure he's that guy.
How do you feel about the Jets head coach with the 2-minute drill decision?
At the end of the
first half.
That was bizarre.
Hey,
right?
So there's 32 seconds left, and it's 4th and 1 at your 47, and it's a 10-6 game. You're down 10-6.
Right.
And you're like, well, at least try. You know,
one more play.
Can you get
Try.
3? Can you go get 3 and make it 10-9? Heck, let's just do something. And they let it tick, 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 tick.
I was like,
You know what made him do that though,
on?
Skip?
Okay, well, okay, it's the defense. All right, but Aaron Glenn,
Always gonna be the
when
defense.
You in the game, and it's nice and it's close, and we're not supposed to be in this game. Let's not make that dumb mistake.
okay,
You know
that's what Aaron Glenn said afterwards. We're going to get the ball coming out the second half.
Exactly.
So I don't want to do anything stupid now. That's
Right.
He didn't say that word stupid, but that's how that was.
I think it was more so the operation of how it went down, and then you see Garrett Wilson start walking off the field while the clock's still running. I thought they were going to run a play, or at least try a Hail Mary, or try something. Even if the clock runs out, right, we got one last shot.
Yeah.
The operation for me was what was so confusing.
We don't have the most explosive offense in the world. We don't have Brandon Aubrey. Like, what are we doing here? Like, we don't want to get the Broncos the ball back. That's why we went for it. That's why we got it. We just don't want to get y'all the ball back and let y'all try to come get 3. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like he did what he was trying to do. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't that big of a deal, in my opinion.
Well, Garrett Wilson thought it was a big deal because he gave him an earful of that.
Yeah, it was also a big deal.
There was some tension.
It was also a big deal. So you talk about his catches. Maybe them balls are thrown behind because he cutting them routes short because Pat is strapping you.
There's no doubt about that.
Now, you usually run them at the sticks. Now you're running them at 7 because he's sitting at the sticks and you see him. He's not fucking moving. So when you break it, he's like, oh shit, he broke it this early. I gotta throw it early.
Okay.
So it's more than just Justin Fields when it comes to throwing that Pat. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of bad balls go to Pat because you nervous as shit by just throwing it to him. You know that, Cody.
Was Garrett Wilson intimidated by Patrick Surtain?
Yeah, he was.
Okay.
And
I would be too.
And Justin Fields was too. They tried to all right, I'm gonna throw you the ball, but he trying to aim it and not throw it.
Yeah.
He trying not to throw a pick to Pat. He fucking intimidating, bro. 6'2", monster, strapping everything that line up in front of him. So how could you not be intimidated?
Yeah, and you can't do that as a quarterback. And I'm not going to speak for Justin Fields. I'm not saying that he was intimidated, he was afraid, but it feels like that when you watch the film. Like he's hesitant to throw the ball because he's worried about making a mistake, and he doesn't want to make that crucial mistake because he's already not playing great football this year. And I know you talk about the numbers, but if you look at the numbers, there's a difference between when the game's close and early on in the game and then the fourth quarter when it's out of reach and he starts getting some of those completions. Because right now with his QBR, he's bottom of the NFL. Not last, but he's down in the lower half of the NFL. And when you can't that takes into account some of those, pad and stats at the end of the game and meaningful reps and is it a crucial situation? It takes into account situational context. Right now, Justin Fields is not performing at a high level when the team needs him to. But if you go back and watch the film, it's not just that. It's not him trying to force a throw to the guys' coverage. There's a play where they have a quick out to the right side from the slot. They have a crosser on third down, a guy wide open. They have stick routes at the chains where I need you to just let it rip. Hit your
But
back
that sound good though, Cody. You know it's not that easy. When they lined up and they showing you one thing, you come out, you look this way, and then by the time you look and you see that wide open, Benito on my ass.
I'm talking post snap. He gets the ball, he confirms, I see the out route, I have leverage on the inside, rip it. He's just holding it, and you see him hesitate. I'm like, throw the ball. Then on a third down, they have a crosser coming underneath, and the safety tries to cut it, sure, but he's still 8 yards deep. Get it to him. Let him get it on the upfield shoulder so he can run after the catch and then try to beat him to the sticks. At least give him an opportunity instead of holding the ball and then taking a sack. And then there's another play where it's, I think, 3rd and 6 to 7, and they have a bunch of guys that are sitting at the sticks where they're supposed to catch it and fall backwards and get a first down. He had 2 options on that play, and both of them, he's just holding it, and that's how you get 9 sacks. And there were times the offensive line was losing at the point of attack. Don't get me wrong. It's not all on Justin Fields, but there's too many times in that film yesterday where guys are open, he's just not pulling the trigger, and he's not playing confidently.
I mean, you see that a lot with Van Joseph defense, man. He confused the shit out you. He put all them guys in A-gaps, line them up at the edges. You don't know who coming. You got to decipher that. And on top of that, you got to decipher, are they playing man or are they playing zone? Is Pat going midpoint these 2 receivers, or is he going to stay on number 1? Like, you got to decipher that like this. You got about 1.9 seconds to do so. You know what I'm saying? So it sounds real easy from the arena, but Cody, you of all people should know, once you get under center, that shit is not easy. So did Justin look trash versus the Steelers?
No, he
looked
solid,
right?
great against
So did he look just trash versus the Bucks? He had a late touchdown drive in there.
I'm not saying he looked trash by any means.
The Dolphins? He looked at trash versus the Dolphins?
He played better in that game.
So that's 3 out of 3 games he was trash. 3 games he wasn't. He didn't even play against Buffalo. So 3 games he was solid. 2 games he was pretty bad. I mean, come
Okay,
on
he's
now.
29th out of 33 in QBR.
Well, I'm gonna talk about that QBR too. Let's keep that QBR right in the middle of this
Keep it right
arena.
there. Okay.
But
We're gonna keep it
Skip
right here in
loves
the middle of this
QBR.
arena.
with that being said, you know this too, Akib, and I know it too. That's why I'm sitting on this damn couch right now. You have to be able to go out and play against Vance Joseph, and you have to be able to play against Brian Flores, and you got to be able to play against Jesse Minter. You've got to go out there and play at a high level consistently if you want to be a starter in this league. And right now with Justin Fields, he's gone through multiple teams, and I know he hasn't had the best chance to go out there and succeed, and they haven't put him in great situations.
Right.
But I just worry right now that it's becoming too consistent with the struggles that he's having. I don't know how many opportunities he's going to keep getting.
My whole point is, I know he's struggling, right?
Yeah.
But it looked extra bad yesterday, right?
Yeah.
And it wasn't Justin. It was you playing that defense. That's why it looked extra bad. That's my whole point. I mean, I ain't saying he's a starter. I ain't saying he's a top 5, top 20, even a top 32. But you look this way, you look this way, you look this way, then you play the Broncos, and it's fucking super bad. That's a product of your environment. That's them damn Broncos.
Well, you are bleeding orange over there today.
Hey, man. Hey,
Yeah.
You've been on the Bronco train.
A win is a win, man. Sometimes it's ugly.
Yeah.
Well, Skip Bayless not sure if Justin Fields is even NFL caliber. Okay, so
As a starter. Yeah.
as a starter. So let's move on. I would love to talk about, Dak Prescott because he's been